Okay, this time I'm going to show you how to shade clothing, and since the last picture I had been working on didn't really have much clothing, I thought I should open up another one. This is just one I had edited partially. You can see that is what it was supposed to look like when it was done. Yeah, I saved it as a .psd. Anyways, I'm going to show you basically how I shade the clothing. And with this one, we have some wrinkles in the clothing and just some lines. This is a sketch. So you could kind of see where some of the shading should be already. And I'm going to start off with black because the other methods are kind of self-explanatory once you watch the other ones. Black on overlay or soft light, darker color on multiply or linear burn. But if you're going to do white clothing, or white hair actually, or white gray skin, you might not be able to use those effectively unless you use like an off-white. But if you're going white, this is what you'll need to do. Pick out, make a new layer, of course, and pick out an area where you'd have a shadow. And right here, I have this little, looks to me like it should be a dent. I'm just going to fill that with black. And either that looks really, really bad. You just gotta lower the opacity just a wee bit. And I like to double click the layer and go to color overlay and get like a blue tone, kind of like a gray blue. And take the opacity down to maybe 20 to 25%, just so it has like a little bit of a blue undertone, because white usually picks up a bit of a blue undertone. And you just go around and shade. Obviously, some of these clothing wrinkles with, the same methods I've been showing in the other videos. I'm really just doing that clothing tutorial so I can show you how to do this method here. Just fill it in. Just keep going around and, blur, smudge. Blur, blur, blur. And you go around like that until you're satisfied. Some places where there's not going to be as obvious shadowing is, let me pick out a different brush than that. Here we go. Okay, the body is going to be casting a wee bit of a shadow on the arm. Unless you want the arm to be more forward, then the arm will be casting a shadow on the body. But for me, you don't, unless you're hunching your shoulders forward, your arms are going to be back a little bit and have a little bit of shadowing on them. That'll give the picture more dimension. I'm just going to do that real quick. Also, armpit creases, I can't think of a nice way to say them. They'll also have some shading, just because any kind of clothing or even your skin will, have a little bit of a crease there. Obviously, this one already has some shading built in here. Just cover that. Other not so obvious places would be, might not be as obvious, is right here where the hoodie is kind of overlaying on itself. Under these buttons, depending on your light source, I'm doing a very generic light source, so even around this little, button thing would have just a slight shadow around it because of the raised fabric it would have. And then if you're going to do highlights, you would highlight the opposite side. Yeah, just like I did in my skin tutorial, so go watch that. This one, yet again, the ears have a line. And to me, it looks like the ears are behind, so put a little shadow there. Basically, if you put a shadow on it, it's gonna look like it's behind the whatever's next to it. If you put a highlight on it, it's gonna look like it's coming more forward than whatever's next to it, or compared to the shadow. I hope that makes sense. Think of everything like a cylinder. That's what I do. Cylinder, or just like blocks, and like over by the ears, the hoodie would be block A and the ear would be block B. So block A would be giving a shadow on block B. I really hope that makes sense. Yeah, and you can see, we make that invisible, all the places where I added the shadowing. I didn't put it on the ears like I should have. Or the edges of the body. You can see the difference it makes. Okay. I know this is a really short tutorial, but if you watch my other ones, it's kind of the same stuff over and over and over again.